All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get started in child's pose today. So go ahead and bring the forehead to the mat, open the knees wider than your rib cage. And in case you don't know me, my name's Byron. And, I'll be guiding you through today's practice. I've been kind of known for giving a lot of information. Sometimes it'll be a little bit too much information, depending on how much you've been practicing and, unrolling your mat. And just know that all this technical information is to keep your body safe. And that's it. So let go of the expectations to do the things perfectly and just start to deepen your breath. Let the breath be the conduit to your experience. I'm just the instructor. You see your breath as more of the teacher. I'm looking for that deep diaphragmatic breathing, so I want you to try to expand the front of your body so your belly will start to really expand. And then on the exhale, try to push all the air out. As you get a little more acclimated to the diaphragmatic breathing, I want you to try to breathe into your lungs more too. So the sides of your body will expand as well as your back body. So you're breathing in all directions. Good. And then as you start to find, 3 or 4 seconds long on your inhales, and you match that with 3 to 4 second long exhales, just know that you can always come back here to child's pose. Take breaks to check in. But for now, let's go ahead and reach the arms forward. Climb up to your fingertips. Yeah, so your wrists are off the ground. Yeah, and your elbows are off the ground. And even though your arms are straight, try to draw your shoulders down your spine towards your hips. Good. And then feel the mobility in your shoulders. Can you wrap your triceps underneath you slightly? Yeah, still in child's pose. Good. Yeah. And then as you inhale, go ahead and rock all the way up to the hands and the knees. Plant your palms, curl the toes, lift your hips up and back into a much more active pose called downward facing dog. Hands are shoulder width apart, feet are hips width apart. And on this first down dog, let's not get technical at all. So if you want to pedal the legs, lift a leg, just use your breath. Keep the diaphragmatic breathing and the expansion. And at the same time, check in with the face, the jaw. Relax your neck. Good. Really push the floor away from you so the hips are way back. Good. And then drop the knees down to the floor. Move your knees together to touch. Open your feet apart. Take a seat in between your feet. Sit on a block if you'd like to sit on a block. And rest your hands by your side to brace your weight. If you don't feel much, recline back a little bit. Maybe use your hands or forearms. And just take a moment. You come back to the diaphragmatic breath. The expansion is actually happening on the exhale of the diaphragm. And the inhale is a contraction. And really just getting to be present is the battle anytime you step onto your mat. All right, the poses come and go. Some days it's easier, some days it's more challenging. But ultimately, the non-attachment is what we're looking for to practice yoga. But from here, let's go ahead and crawl the hands out in front of us so you're in the shape of a table. So the hands will be underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And I just want you to extend your left leg straight back behind you and reach your right arm straight ahead in front of you in the handshake positions. Do all the things you know how to do to get nice and long through your spine. So I want you to feel your shoulders really drawing back. Good. Scapulas moving together a little bit. But then really vibrantly reach through the fingertips, right? Vibrantly reach through your left heel or toes. Good. That's it. And then take one more inhale, stretch out a little bit longer, and then exhale, release everything down, and then simply switch. So the right leg's back, the left arm's forward, handshake position. And so the handshake position means the left palm's facing in. And I'd actually exaggerate that, maybe even face the palm up, so you're creating more space in your left shoulder. So again, here's that information I was telling you about. And then you're just breathing yourself a little bit longer. You're pushing down a little bit stronger. Let's take one more inhale. And then release everything down. Good. Now, if you have your blocks, go ahead and place them underneath your hands. If you don't have blocks, climb up to your fingertops. And if your fingers are kind of brittle, they don't like that, you can use your palms. It's okay. But the elevated height helps here. It's called flossing your shoulders, right? If you've never done this, you kind of look up here. You dip your chest down. You push the floor away. You dip, you push, right? It seems like a cat-cow kind of. But instead of sticking your butt out, just focus on your upper back, right? So you're just using the strength of your shoulder. And what's happening is that you're strengthening the base of your shoulder. These aren't the muscles you lift weights with. These are the connection muscles. Good. Now, just so we're clear, do a few cat-cows. So pull your heart forward and stick your butt out. Start to feel the arch of your spine. And then exhale, press down through the floor, round your upper back, tuck your tail. Do that twice more. Inhale, pull your heart forward. Good. And then exhale, press round and squeeze all the breath out. And do one more like that. Inhale, lift your chest. And then exhale, squeeze and round the upper back. And then go ahead and come into neutral spine. Turn your hands out 90 degrees. So your right fingers will point to the right, your left ones to the left. You can use your blocks or palms or fingertips is what I like. Floss the shoulders again. Push down, pull forward, push down. So what happens when you turn your hands out, it's actually favorable to the shoulder. It's just uncomfortable in the hand. So after you do it a few times, I want you to see if you can turn your hands all the way behind you. So it's a full 180-degree turn. And just do a couple like that. And so now the shoulders are exactly like we want them to be. Right, you might refine it a little bit and pull your shoulders away from your ears. Just feel that a few times. Good. Now go ahead and pause in neutral. Don't move your shoulders or your elbows. Just move your hands forward again. Yeah, just the hands move, not the elbows, not the shoulders. Good. Plant your palms, step back to plank position. All right. And then try it from here. You might want the knees down because it's not as fun to floss the shoulders, but push down, pull forward a couple times. Right? And after you get that done a few times, try to turn your hands out 90 degrees and try it like that. If that bothers your hands, keep the hands pointing forward. All right? A couple times. And then if you dare, go 180 degrees so your fingers point all the way back, if you dare. A couple more times. Good. Now pause in neutral. Try not to move anything except your hands and turn them back into the normal position. Just the hands, not the shoulders, not the elbows. Downward facing dog. Curl the toes, press up and press back. Bring the palms flat. Yeah, so down dog, it's a lot more challenging to externally rotate the upper arm bone. Try to wrap the triceps down a little bit. Good. And then walk the hands back to your feet so you're in a forward fold at the back of your mat. Separate your feet at least hips width apart and grab your elbows and hang. Maybe sway a little bit left, a little bit right. Just let all the technical stuff go for a second. See if you can get so lost in a zone with your breath that you're not really sure what your name is for a few minutes. Right? You're not sure what kind of agenda you have, what your day looks like. That's how focused we want to get. And then change the cross of your arms. Just let the opposite elbow shift in front as we notice a little more subtle shift, subconscious change. That's it. And then release your arms down and slide your hands to your shins, halfway between your ankles and your knees. Straighten your arms and pull your heart towards 2nd Street. Pull it forward. Good. Now it's kind of like you're turning a doorknob with your hands. Roll the softer part of your elbow forward. Right? Your hands don't move, just your elbows. And take an extra inhale to get longer, and then fold forward as you exhale. Let's do that twice more. Inhale, lift and lengthen through your spine, and then fold forward as you exhale. One more time. Inhale, glance forward as you create space, and then fold forward for depth. Downward facing dog. Start to crawl the hands all the way out to the top of the mat. Good. Push the hips back. And go ahead and bring your feet together until they touch. Lift your left leg back. And Mother's Day was a couple days ago. We're going to do things with the left side today, the feminine side. A little unusual. Good. Now, as you inhale, pull forward to plank position. Just hold it. If you feel like you have the strength to floss the shoulders a couple times, try to floss the shoulders. Push down, pull forward. Try not to bend the elbows. And then the next time you push down, stay like that. Bring the knee to your nose, and as light as you can, step your left foot all the way through between your hands and drop your back knee down. So step the left foot through, drop your right knee down, and reach your arms straight up. Good. And as you reach your arms up, go ahead and hook your right thumb in front of your left thumb and start to pull on your thumbs. And just as an exercise, I want you to feel the shoulder joint, right? There's a lot of mobility in the shoulders. Just kind of wiggle the shoulders around. Just kind of feel how the ball and socket is there. If you don't have much range of motion, that's okay. Just feel it. Good. And then look up to your hands and get static. So now you're pulling the triceps a little bit forward. You're looking up because it's a little bit of a back bend. So you should feel a little bit of energy back there. Beautiful. And then take one more inhale to stretch, and then bring the hands down to the ground as you exhale. You're going to curl the back toes under. You're going to lift your back knee up, and then come up to crescent pose. Reach your arms all the way up. And then hook the same thumb in front. Pull on the thumbs, right? Yeah, you can start to feel the shoulder mobility a little bit. Yeah. And then if you want to sink a little bit deeper, then reach a little bit higher. And you might look up and lean back a little if it feels good. Beautiful. One more inhale here. Go straight into downward facing dog. Hands to the ground. And step your left foot back. I want to come high on the tippy toes. As high as you can get on your tippy toes. Go ahead and do that. And then push your hands down into the floor. Almost like you're trying to slide them towards your feet and round your upper back. So you're trying to do a cat pose. Once you feel that, shift your shoulders forward 1 inch. Good. Keep pushing down. Go forward 2 inches. And then go forward 1 final inch. And then find plank. Pull your heart forward as you inhale. Bend the elbows lower all the way down to your belly as you exhale. Nice job. Open the arms like a T out to the sides of you. Yeah, if you have somebody nearby, get to know them. And then climb up to your fingertips. Right? So yeah, letter T. I'll get the alphabet lettering out here for some of you. And then on the fingertips, pull your heart forward, lift your head, lift your chest. Good. We're going to do this a few times. You're using the fingertips. Good. Release your chin down to the floor. You're undulating your spine. Inhale, lift your chest. Feel the articulation. And then exhale, chin to the ground. And then one more. Let's hold this last one. Inhale, lift your chest. All right. Beautiful. Stay here. Can you lift your hands off the ground? Can you lift your feet off the ground? For 3. Beautiful. Opening wide for 2. Give me one more breath. Downward facing dog. Press the hands down. Press your hips up and back. Good. Bring your feet together again. And this time, let's lift the right leg back. Just feel the length of your right leg. Imagine there was no end to your right leg. You're pushing it through the wall. And then go ahead and pull forward as you inhale, plank position. Take a couple rounds of flossing the shoulders. Push down. Feel the strength. Try not to bend the elbows. Good. Next time you push down, bring the right knee to your nose, and light as you can, step your right foot through between your hands. Good. Drop your left knee down softly and reach your arms up above. Hook the left thumb in front of the right. Pull on the thumbs like you're trying to separate. Broaden your upper back. Feel a hook from your navel in all the way up through your chest. And then if you want to look up and lean back a little bit. That's it. Just like that. Take one more juicy inhale. Bring the hands down to the ground as you exhale. And then curl your left toes under. And as you lift your back knee, we're coming into crescent pose. So reach your arms straight up above. You might even bend your back knee a little more. Last time to hook your thumbs. Left thumb in front of the right. Good. And as you pull energetically, start to squeeze your inner thighs together. And the more acclimated you get to the balance, sink a little bit deeper. Reach a little bit higher. One more in breath. Straight into downward facing dog. Hands to the ground. Step your right foot back. Come high up on your tippy toes. Do the same thing. Press down with your hands around your upper back. Try to go forward 1 inch. Good. Go slow. 2nd inch forward. Go 1 more inch forward. Shoulders over the wrist. Inhale. Plank pose. And then bend the elbows. Lower all the way down to your belly. Stay here. Release the tops of your feet. 3 cobras. As you inhale, lift your chest. Pull your heart forward. And then exhale, chin to the floor. So not too high, not too low. Inhale, cobra number 2. Should feel good. And then exhale, chin down. And then hold the last one a few extra breaths. So as you inhale, lift your chest. And you could work the arms a little straighter, but only if it feels good. Keep the shoulders down. Softer part of your elbows rolling forward. Take one more inhale. Downward facing dog. Curl the toes, press up, shift back, and move back to your diaphragmatic breath. Good. Notice that the mind is starting to cooperate a little bit more. Is it resisting? Just feel that. Resistance is something to be felt. You cannot see it. Good. And then walk the hands back to your feet again. This time separate your feet shoulder width apart. So that's a little bit wider than hips. Bend the knees until you feel your ribs touch your thighs. So 90 degrees. And then reach your arms forward with your ribs on your thighs. Yes. So it's like a half chair here. Now you're trying not to let the knees buckle in. But you want to feel a lot of activity in your glutes and your outer hips. Yes. Good. And then from here, swing the hands behind your back, interlace the fingers, and then fold forward. You can straighten the legs, let the shoulders get involved. Just kind of checking off each part of the body, shoulders, chest, legs, toes. Yeah, let's do that again. Bend the knees 90 degrees. Reach your arms forward. You're trying to get your back straight right here. All right, so that means you might lift your arms a little bit higher. Belly pulls in for support. 2 deep breaths. On this last one, hands behind your back, interlace one finger over. Same things. Fold forward, lift the hands off you. Check your neck. Loosen up a little bit. All right, you want to take yoga seriously, but you don't want to take yourself seriously. Good. Release your arms down. Slide the hands to your shins like we previously did. Pull your heart forward. Stay here and bring the hands to your waistline. Good. And as your elbows point up, I like to bend my knees a little here. And on the inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, relax your arms and take a walk. We're going to walk up to the front of the mat. This time we'll slide the feet all the way together. And then place the hands at the seat of your heart. You can rest your eyes if you like. And do any seed planting here. What do you want to cultivate? Plant the seed. Strength. Balance. Abundance, you name it. And as you trust that the seed will sprout, let's take one last big inhale through the nose. Hold this one in. Open the mouth, let it go. That's it. Reach your arms up. You can open the eyes. You can watch the palms kiss. And then fold forward as you exhale. Go ahead and hinge down all the way from your hips. And then flat back inhale, lift and lengthen. Probably just step back to plank position for the first one. And lower slowly down through what's called that vinyasa practice. So inhale, arch your spine, cobra, maybe upward facing dog if you're ready. And then downward facing dog, exhale, nice and steady. Just keep breathing in. And breathing out. Stay in a zone. Stay focused. Inhale, lift the hips, bend the knees, look forward, walk, step, or lightly jump to the top of your mat. That's it. Flat back, inhale, lift and lengthen. Fold in, exhale to deepen. And then all the way up, standing, sweep the arms up and over your head. And then pull the hands together in front of your heart. Now let's do it again 3 more times. Inhale, reach up, 1 breath. And then fold forward, exhale, lead with your chest. Flat back inhale, you're trying to synchronize movements, step or lightly jump your feet back like you're dancing with your breath, low or slow. That's it, feel the flow, inhale, open up your heart like you're surfing a wave of oxygen. And then downward facing dog as you exhale. Take a few deep breaths again. All right, just practicing the tension and release, the oppositional movements. All right. Good. And then again, inhale, hips lifting, knees bending, look forward, stepping or floating through to the top. Flat back inhale, create space, and then fold in, exhale for depth. And then all the way up we go, standing, sweeping, arms rising. And then hands connect at the heart center, exhaling. Again, inhale, sweep and reach. Maybe the palms kiss. Fold forward as you exhale, hinge at your hips. Flat back inhale, still warming up. Step or lightly jump your feet back and lower slowly down, elbows in tight. That's it, cobra or upward facing dog, whichever feels most right. Down dog, exhale, steady breath, steady mind. So realistically, 80%, I would say, of your attention on your breath, on the aperture, right? The nostrils, the lungs, the diaphragm. And that means 20% is on everything else, my voice included, your busy mind, your distracting neighbor. Last round. Inhale, lift the hips, bend the knees, look forward, walk steppers, spring to the top. Flat back inhale to lengthen. Bold in, exhale to deepen. And then root down to rise, inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. And then hands connect together as you exhale last time. Inhale, sweep and reach and say goodbye. Forward fold, exhale as you swan dive. Flat back inhale, and then step or jump back, lower slow. Right? Let it be a practice. As you inhale, practice opening your heart. And exhale, press back, practice opening your legs, lengthening your spine, practice full range of breath. I find it is very important to have a practice. Not everybody has a practice. But then you got to look at, what are you practicing? Right? You choose what you practice. Good, so from here, I want you to spin your right heel flat on the ground with the toes angled in a little bit. Yeah, and then bring the left knee towards your chest. Yes, shift forward and see if you can keep your back foot flat. It's probably going to lift at some point. We call it Warrior One. Step your left foot by your left thumb and then reach your arms straight up. Again, doing that left side first. Yes. Good. From here, take the hands behind your head, actually. Right? I want you to interlace the fingers, and I want you to pull the elbows towards each other. And imagine you're about to do a headstand against the ceiling. Lift your elbows up, right? Make sure you pull the elbows towards each other first. Now, as you lift up, pull your tailbone down so you're not arching your back. It should feel like an abdominal exercise. Yes, exactly. Right? Now, try not to do anything except this. Reach your arms up. Shoulders are still drawing down. Belly's still strong. Very nice. Swing the hands behind your back. Interlace the fingers. Take an inhale. Lift your chest. You can look up if you want. And then fold forward as you exhale. Dip and dive. Let your head get heavy. All 15 pounds of that head. Yeah, maybe pull your left hip back a little bit. Let go of the idea of doing this perfectly. Perfectionism's a disease. A lot of strong, competitive types suffer from that disease. Just let that go. Try to do it correctly, not perfectly. Good. Place both hands on the ground on the inside of your left foot. Just straighten your left leg. Walk your hands to the right and pivot your left foot in. Parallel your feet. Good. And then climb up to your fingertips. Take an inhale, lift your chest. And then fold forward. So you might bend the elbows a little bit and crawl the hands underneath you. You might turn the hands around. Just do what feels good. Good. And just imagine if you were on a slip and slide. If you can remember back, and maybe you've been on one of those at some point in your life, you would slide your feet together if this was a slip and slide. So you're pushing down onto the sticky surface. Good. And then go ahead and walk your hands a little out in front of you until they're on the wood floor, just barely. Good. And then bring your left hand about 3 inches to the right so it's in the middle, and then reach your right arm up. Yeah, so it's a lot of cueing today. So try to keep your left arm straight, either on the fingertips or the palm. And listen, I want you to rotate your left hand counterclockwise, 180 degrees. I know, it's an old-fashioned clock. If you don't know what an old-fashioned clock looks like, we got one in the room. Take your right hand behind your back, counterclockwise turn of your left hand. That's clockwise, yep. Good. Now, can you feel your left shoulder head pulling back? And don't change your shoulder. Just move your left hand forward like you normally would have. Yeah, nice. Good. Take one more inhale here, and then drop your right hand to the ground. I want you to start to bend your left knee, and I want you to crawl towards your left foot. Spin your left toes to face the front of the room, and we call it Warrior Two. Circle that right arm all the way open so that it's behind you. Yes. And if you're a little newer to the class, look down, make sure you can see your big left toe. If you can't see it, push your left knee more to the left. Good. Now, if you've been practicing a while, just close your eyes because you'll understand this. Draw your scapulas together, your shoulder blades, right? And then turn your palms up. All right, try not to move your shoulders or your elbows. Just move your hands. Turn them down and up a few times. And try not to move your shoulders. You're isolating the shoulder. Yeah. Good. I see the wheels turning. This is good. Some of you look very confused too. Turn your left palm up. This time reverse the warrior. Sweep it up, sweep it back. Slide your right hand somewhere down your right leg. And if you want to bend the left knee a little bit more, do it now. So good. Take one more inhale. Come right into downward facing dog as you exhale. Hands to the ground. Step back. Come high up on your tippy toes. Again, we're going to add on to what we did. Push down through your hands, round your upper back. Move forward 1 inch. Good. Go forward 2 inches. 3 inches. Find plank position, right? As you pull your heart forward to plank, this time try not to bend your elbows. Lower your hips down. Upward facing dog without bending your elbows. If this is too much, bend your elbows. All right, pull your heart forward. Your belly's soft. Same thing on the way out. In reverse, round your upper back. Lift your hips as high as they'll go. Heels are still high. And then push your heels down. It should feel like a massage that you have to work for. All right, let's do 2 more. Tips of the toes. Press down with your hands. Round through your spine. Once you get to plank, descend your hips. Relax your belly. Knees stay off the ground. And then same thing in reverse. Round your shoulders. Slowly lift your hips up. The slower, the stronger. Heels down. Do 1 more on your own. Skip it if it's not vibing. Repetition. Yes. And for those of you who are kind of like, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be doing, if you do it correctly, I just guarantee you're going to be sore tomorrow. Good. Once you get back to down dog, let's move on. Let's take a big, juicy inhale through the nose. Open up, release it. Spin your left heel flat on the ground, inner back foot, toes angled in a little bit. Bring the right knee towards your nose. Yep. And then see how long you can keep your back foot flat. Step your right foot by your right thumb. We call it warrior 1. You're going to reach your arms up. All right. Last technical thing with the hands behind the head. Interlace the fingers. Right? Pull the crown of your head up a little bit. Bend the elbows, pull them in. And then push your elbows up without back bending. So push your tailbone down and lift up. 2 opposing forces. Again, your core. Like if somebody was going to hit you in the stomach right here, this would be the time. All right? Now try not to move anything except your arms. Straighten your arms up. Keep the shoulders doing what they're doing. But reach up for the sky. That's it. Swing the hands behind you, interlace 1 finger over. Take an inhale, peel your chest open, and then fold forward as you exhale. Beautiful. Use that breath to help liberate your mind. All right, the poses will help to liberate the body. All right, but you can get these poses done in 2 years, probably if you practice a lot. But your mind is like an ocean, right? You'll probably never get to the bottom of that mind. The breath is the key. Release both hands down to the floor. Bring them to the inside of your foot. You're going to straighten your right leg, walk your hands to the left, and pivot your right foot in so that your feet are paralleled. And then up on your fingertips, this time, can you crawl your hands forward about a foot? Yeah, you might have to visit your neighbor here a little bit. Maybe go forward 2 feet if you have the space. If you have a wall, just step back a little bit. And then 3 feet. So it's like a down dog. So I want you to push the floor away from you and push your hips back. Bring the palms down if you want. Yes. And then really push the hips back. Feel the length in the sides of the waist. Good. So there's a lot of what we call template postures in yoga. Means this is one of them, down dog, right? Legs wide apart. This turns into a handstand splits. We're not going to go there today, but this is how you would do it. You would come up to your tippy toes, right? And you would push the floor away. You would start to round your upper back and bring the shoulders over the wrists. And then once you got comfortable there, you would hop the feet above your hips and your hips above your shoulders. Let's do it tomorrow. Walk the hands back. Good. Stop about onto the wood floor before you hit your mat. And then walk your right hand about 2 or 3 inches to the left and reach your left arm up and twist. Yeah, just a couple inches. Good. Now we'll do a clockwise rotation of the right hand on the floor until the right fingers point behind you. And once you do that, take your left hand behind your back. Yeah. Other way. That's clap. The other way. Yeah. That's it. And then feel your right shoulder. Pull it back. Don't move your shoulder. Just move your right hand. Face it forward again. Yeah, face your fingers forward, Chris. Yep, keep the shoulder doing what it's doing. Reach your left arm up as you inhale. And then drop your left hand down as you exhale. Good. As you bend your right knee, crawl over to your right foot. Spin your right toes forward, warrior 2. Circle the left arm all the way open so that it's behind you. And then sink down. Feel the energetic pull. All right, bring the shoulder blades together a little more and turn your palms up. Turn them down. Do it about 5 or 10 times on your own. Try not to move your shoulders. Just move your hands. Yeah. Good. Yeah, see if you can not move your elbows. Just move your hands. Yes. Beautiful. Next time your right palm's up, reverse warrior. Pull it all the way up, all the way back. Maybe dig a little deeper as you bend your right knee for 3. Good. 2. Diaphragm expands. Last 1. Downward facing dog. Last 3 rounds of rolling wave. Tips of your toes. Create a wave in your spine. Round your upper back. Shift forward 1, 2, 3 inches. Pull forward to plank. Descend your hips without touching the floor. The slower, the better. All right. Do the same thing on the exit, on the way out. Round your upper back. Lift your hips. Push your heels. Do 2 more. Just repetition. Feel free to skip them if you're getting a little fatigued. Nice. Beautiful. That's it. It's the exit that's probably the most precarious. So that when you start to come out of the upward facing dog, that's when you need to be the most careful. Yes. Uno más. That means 1 more. I just got back from Mexico. Nice job, you guys. And you can let go of all that stuff once you get back to down dog. And let's just take 1 more big releasing inhale through the nose. Let it out. So nice. Inhale, lift your hips, bend your knees, look forward, walk step or lightly jump to the top of your mat. Flat back inhale, lift your chest, and then fold in as you exhale. For a chair pose, you want to bend the knees. The feet can be together here if you want. They can be up to hips width apart. Reach your arms up. Good. So it's not cat in the back, right? Cat or cow. You're not tucking the tail under, and you're not sticking your butt out. You're in between that. And you want to pull the hips away from your fingertips for length in the spine. Take 1 more inhale, and then stand up. Bring the hands together in front of the heart. We're going to do the second warm-up series. We move a little faster. Please don't rush. Back to chair pose. Inhale, 1 breath. Fold forward as you exhale, series B. Flat back inhale, lift and lengthen. Traditional vinyasa, step or lightly jump your feet back and lower slowly down, elbows in tight. And then a cobra or up dog, whichever feels most right. We're going to do the left side first today. Down dog as you exhale. You can step your left foot through. Feel free to lift it up first. And then come into crescent or warrior 1. Inhale, reach your arms up, 1 big breath. And then hands back to the floor. As you exhale, left leg back, lower slow. If my tempo's too fast, you go slower. Inhale and exhale. That leaves the right side. Do the same thing. You'll step your right foot through. You can do crescent, or you can spin the back foot flat and do warrior 1. 1 breath to touch the sky. Hands back to the earth. Right leg back, lower slow. So good. Inhale. And exhale, back to downward facing dog. Notice the heart starts to race a little bit. That means it's working. The body's responding. Demands for oxygen have increased. Give the body what it needs. Good. Repetition. Let's do it again. Inhale, lift your hips. Bend your knees, look forward. Walk, step, or launch your feet to your hands. Good. Flat back inhale, lift and lengthen. Fold in, exhale to deepen. Back to chair pose, bend your knees, squat down, reach up. And then stand all the way up, hands together in front of your heart. Right back to chair pose. Inhale, 1 breath, 1 movement. Fold forward as you exhale, straighten the legs. Flat back inhale, never rushing. Step or hop back and lower slow. Yeah, it's not a race. Find your pace. Inhale, open up, chest and collarbone spreads. Down dog, exhale, drop your head. Step the left foot through first today. Crescent or warrior 1. Inhale, honor the feminine. And then hands to the ground as you exhale. Left leg back, lower down. Inhale, open up. Down dog. Do the right side all by yourself. Good. And I think that's enough of that. Good. From here, either rest in child's pose, down dog, or hold plank on the forearms if you have high energy today. And we'll just move on in about 5 breaths. Whichever pose you take, I want you to feel very grounded, very rooted. If you don't know how to feel grounded, you basically just get comfortable, right? And you're sure about your choice. Good. Nice, and then we'll move on our backs. So jump through, lie down on your back, or just set the knees down first, cross the ankles, sit down, and then lie all the way down on your back. Bring the knees into your chest, give yourself a squeeze. Nice to get off the shoulders for a second. And then keep your right knee hugging in and extend your left leg straight ahead. Bring the nose to your right knee. This is gonna be a short, intense thing, right? So take the hands behind your head, interlace the fingers. Pull your navel in a little bit. See if you can tremble. I want you to tremble just a little bit. Good. Keep your chest up and extend your right leg straight up. Yes. Now reach up as high as you can for 5 seconds. 4. That can reach higher than that. 3. It's not going to last long. 2. Give me one more reach and then rest. Bend the knee, hug it into your chest, and twist. Drag your right knee to your left. Open your right arm to the right. First twist of the day. And so later on today in the 90-minute class, I have this long 10, 15-minute grueling abdominal thing we're going to do. You guys are going to get the much more effective abbreviated version, right? Fast twitch muscle fibers. But you got to do the work. Come back to center. Switch. Left knee in, right leg forward. Curl the nose up to your left knee. Remember, it's not going to last long. Good. Hands behind your head first, right? Try to pull the navel in. Now you're setting the tone. You don't want to fall back from here. Extend your left leg up and reach up as high as you can for 5. Try not to fall back. Just reach higher every count. 4, 3, little higher. 2, give it all you got in 1, and then rest. Bend the knee, twist. Drag your left knee to the right, and open your left arm to the left. It's like going to the doctor, getting a shot. It only lasts for a second. Good. And then last thing, on the back. Hug the knees into the chest, both knees this time. Curl the nose up to both of your knees. Hands behind your head, interlace the fingers. Good, extend your leg straight up. A little different this time. I want you to lower your left leg halfway and then reach your left arm outside of your right knee. Try not to roll onto your right shoulder. 3, left leg's down. 2, in 1, we switch. So left hand behind the head, you'll lower your right leg. You'll reach your right arm outside your left knee for 3. Try to lift your left shoulder for 2. In 1, reach both arms up, both legs, last 5. High as you can get. 4, 3, this shouldn't feel good. 2, 1, and relax. Happy baby pose will put you in a good mood right away. Feel free to rock a little side to side. Come back to that diaphragmatic breath. Expansion, contraction. And then go to release the feet. Grab your hamstrings and rock and roll your way back and forth. You could just roll over to one side if your back's bothering you and press yourself up into a yogi squat. So point your toes out towards 10 and 2 o'clock, feet about shoulder width apart. Or maybe more narrow, if you can get your heels down. Feel free to, use a block, sit on it, whatever feels right here. Just kind of notice, maybe close the eyes and come back to the seed planting. Nourish the body, nourish those seeds with breath. Good, and then release the hands, open the eyes, and straighten the legs, pivot the feet into parallel. Heel toe the feet about hips width apart. Reach down and hook onto your big toes with your first 2 fingers. That's it. Take an inhale, lift your chest. Use your biceps a little bit as you bend your elbows out to the sides. Yeah, really stamp that big toe down onto your fingers so they don't move. And just loosen it all up again. Head, neck, breath. Good. And let's make our way back to downward facing dog. You can any way you want. You could step back, you could hop back, you could do a back flip if you wanted to. Good. And then lift your left leg up, bend your left knee, open up your hip. And just to maximize the time, if you wanted to flip this out into a dancer's bridge, you're welcome to do that for a few breaths. Good. And as you flip it back around, we'll step the left foot all the way through between the hands. You'll spin the back foot flat, and you'll bring the left hand inside of your left foot. A block might be a great prop here. Reach your right arm up. All right, last time we're going to angle that left hand. So I want you to roll your left hand counterclockwise, 180 degrees. Good, extend your right arm over your right ear, palm down. Yeah, so rotate your left hand 180 degrees. Not sure if you guys don't know what that means or if you're just not listening. Good. Feel your left shoulder head. Pull it back. Try not to move your shoulder. Just move your left hand. Point the fingers forward again. Yes, now it's happening. Take your right hand behind your back. And if you can touch the inner left thigh, do that. If you prefer to connect the hands, take your left hand underneath your left leg. Reach up for your right fingers. And just a few breaths. We're not going to stay here for long. Open up the chest a little bit. All right, try to relax the face. Yeah, go ahead and point your fingers forward again. Keep your shoulder back. Good. And then left hand down, right arm up. Go ahead and take a patient inhale and then press up warrior 2 as you exhale. And then straighten your left leg and start to reach towards 2nd Street as far as you can. Let your left hip merge into your right hip. When you can no longer reach forward, drop your left hand down your left leg, probably above the ankle. Yeah, and then extend your right arm over your right ear, palm facing down. And then keep your left hand where it is, but imagine you're trying to open a doorknob with your left hand and turn the softer part of your left elbow forward, left shoulder blade back. And what happens when you do that is sometimes you realize your left hand might be a little bit too far down. Good. Let's try to minimize the movement here. We're going to move into that balancing version of this pose. Reach your right arm up, look down in front of your toes, and as you bend your left knee, pick a spot with your eyes, crawl your left hand about a foot forward to that spot, and lift your right leg up swiftly. Yes. That's it. And then try to focus on that left arm a little more today as you roll the softer part of your left elbow forward. Draw the left shoulder head back to the point where you might even want to use a block or even float the left hand off the ground. Yeah, but you're not concerned about falling because you realize that falling might be exactly what you need to do. Right? How can you possibly get up and practice resilience if you don't fall? Good. Place your right hand down, square your right hip level to your left. Drop your heavy head and crawl the hands closer into your left toes. You might even grab the back of your left leg here with one hand or both. You could even flirt with lifting your right leg up a little bit higher, but not at the expense of, injuring yourself. You're just flirting with your edge, not jumping off the cliff. Let's give it one more inhale and bring the feet together as you exhale. Flat back inhale, catch your breath. And then fold in as you exhale. Chair pose, bend the knees, squat down. Reach your arms up. Last standing pose on this side. Bring the hands together in front of your heart center. Go ahead and turn to the right side. Hook your left elbow outside of your right thigh. Yeah, first option is if you really wanted to get an arm balance in today, you're going to drop both hands down to the ground to your right side and practice side crow. The rest of us are going to shift the weight into the right foot and lift the left heel off the ground. So it's kind of like you're just balancing on one leg. Yeah, if you like that, you're going to lift your whole foot up. And then at some point, I want you to try to extend your left leg all the way back to the back left corner of your yoga mat. Drop step the toes. All right. Yes, and if you want to set the left knee down, that's fine. You can set the left foot and the left knee down, or you can keep the knee up and pull your heart forward for a few deep breaths. Nice. Good. Wherever you are, give it one more inhale. Let's meet in plank pose. Hands to the ground, step your right foot back. I want you to bring your feet together. I want you to angle your left fingertips to the left and then roll onto the outer edge of your left foot and reach your right arm up. right? I don't know if you ever watch gymnasts, but this is how they use their hands, right? And they balance just fine. Good. Extend your right arm over your right ear. Yeah, and some of you, I don't know if anybody in here wants to try to move your left fingers forward. Maybe somebody at home will try it. Good job, Chris. And then switch. Right hand down, angle your fingers to the right. Feel free to drop the knee down if you want. Otherwise, same thing, other side. Outer edge of the foot. Float your left arm up. Feel your right shoulder pulling back. Good. Extend your left arm over your left ear. 3 breaths. Maybe try to move your fingers forward after having them point to the right. Half of you didn't even do it. Don't blame you. Good. And then bring your left hand down. Downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa if you want it. Skip it if you don't need it. Brings up our last standing side today. Lift your right leg up. Bend your right knee, open up the hip gradually. If you flipped it out on the other side, you don't want to walk around funny the rest of the day, flip it out on this side. And if you did make it all the way around, then flip it back around. Step your right foot between your hands and spin your back foot flat. Get the block out if you need it. Right hand inside of your right foot, reach your left arm up. Last time we'll rotate the right hand clockwise with your right hand, 180 degrees. Beautiful. Extend your left arm over your left ear. Feel your right shoulder moving into its socket. All right. Once you've confidently got that muscle memory, rotate your right hand around to face the normal direction. Good. Everybody take the left hand behind the back and take a wrap. You're already in a half wrap. You can stay here. Those of you who want the full wrap, right hand underneath your right leg, reach up for your left fingertips, and then roll your left chest open, breathe. Right? 3 breaths. Good. Good. Last 2. And then in 1, lightly set your right hand down, energetically reach your left arm up, patiently take an inhale, and then press up. Warrior 2. Go to straighten your right leg and start to reach towards 2nd Street. See if you can touch the front window and then drop the right hand down your right shin bone or block. And extend your left arm over your left ear. And again, imagine you kind of have grabbing a doorknob with your right hand, turning it to the right so your elbow, the kissable part of your right elbow, rolls forward. And the shoulder moves back. Nice. And try to keep that same composition as we balance. Reach your left arm up, look down in front of your toes. Bend your right knee, crawl the right hand forward a foot or so. Swiftly lift your left leg up and off the ground. And then express the pose in all 5 directions. Both legs, both arms, crown of your head included, everything seeking, energizing, infinity, and beyond. Oh, that's it. And then bring both hands down, square your left hip level with your right, and just drop your head. All right? Maybe crawl the hands a little bit closer to your toes if you have that mobility in your hamstring. And if you feel like the balance is happening, grab the back of your leg, maybe with your right hand, potentially both. And if you're going to lift your left leg high, don't do it aggressively. Do it mindfully, consciously. Last inhale, bring the feet together. As you exhale, flat back inhale. We're down the home stretch here. Fold in, last standing pose today. Bend your knees. Last chair pose, squat low. Reach your arms high, get your feet level. And then bring the hands to your heart. Twist to the left side, right elbow hooks, outer left thigh. That's it. Express the pose. Those of you arm balancing, you know what to do. The rest of us are going to shift the weight into the left foot and lift the right heel off the ground. So you're just getting used to one leg. Yes. Eventually, you might lift the whole foot. And at some point, drop step your right toes to the back right corner of your mat. It's called counterbalancing. It's basically physics 101. Yeah. And then give it a few deep breaths. So nice, you guys. Last 2. And then 1 more inhale. We'll meet in plank pose. Last strong minute to go. Lower your elbows, your forearms down to the ground. I hate to do it to you, but not really. Floss the shoulders, forearm plank. Push forward, pull. Push and pull on the forearms. 10 times. All right. That's it. 5 more times. Feel that. Good. Now stay with the pushing down and walk your feet in halfway to your elbows. It's called dolphin pose. It's basically down dog with tiny little arms. Push your hips away from your fingertips. And if you're okay, lift your left leg up. If you're panicking, don't lift your leg. Keep the leg straight if you're lifting it. Good, nice. And then switch. Left leg down. If you lifted it, lift your opposite leg. Straighten it. Set your foot down, child's pose. Drop the knees, rest the hips on the heels. Let your body completely let go, just like we did in that first child's pose. Nice job. Now we start to work through a little more of a yin, relaxed, feminine style. Last downward facing dog, hands and knees. Inhale, curl the toes. Lift your hips up and back. Let's go straight into single pigeon pose. Step your right shin through. You can do your left shin actually today since we're doing the left side first. Might as well stick with that theme. Step your left foot through. You heel toe your left foot to your right wrist. It's going to be behind your right wrist a little ways, but your left knee can be probably right next to your left wrist. And then you'll be on the center of your back knee. You'll lift your chest. Eventually you guys can fold forward here if you want. And maybe the forearms or a pillow with your arms, a block to rest your head on. Any of these are options. And personally, I go onto my back a lot for this one because I find it to be just as healing. So, kind of ask yourself that question anytime you're practicing and say, is this healing for me? And if the answer is no, then why are you doing it? Sometimes the healing is a stronger pose, and other times it's completely the opposite. Now before we switch sides, I want you to swing that right leg around to the front of the mat. So you'll lean a little into your left knee first to do that. And then once you get the right leg around, you'll just place the soles of your feet together. And then once you grab those feet with your hands to bind them together, just sit tall. Right, feel free to just stay sitting tall. Take an inhale if you have the mobility, bend your elbows and pull your head towards your toes. Every inhale, you're just getting a little bit longer. Every exhale, maybe a little bit deeper, even if it's a millimeter or less. It all adds up. Good, and then slowly release this. Now find pigeon on the other side. Swing the right leg back or go back onto your back. Make sure you're on the center of your back knee. So the right leg will be out in front of you. Try not to lay on the knee. Maybe more over the shin, the calf. Good. So I find that the best way for me to go deeper into my practice or anything for that matter is to change my perception. Do things a little differently than I'm used to doing them. So hence the left side first today. Hence turning the hand around. We're all resistant to change. It's part of our nature. Right? But again, what are you practicing? It'll become more your nature to go with the flow because change is the only constant. And then everybody slowly unwind. Come back to those palms. Swing the left leg around to the front of your mat and extend both legs out. So it's a nice symmetrical pose. Toes point up. Arms are going to reach up. Take an in-breath, and then you'll fold over your legs. Yeah, you might use a block if you're really mobile. All right. At the end of your feet, you might just grab your shins or ankles. Keep the integrity of your spine. I find that information usually travels from the outwards to the inwards. It's like our country. Things come into the coasts first and then filter into the middle of the country. Same with your body. As you start to relax the fingers, the toes, the eyes, start to soften the middle of your body a little bit more. And then just give it one more in-breath to relax all the way down onto your back. Once you get there, a couple last little poses to finish it off. Slide the feet towards you. So we're going to go into a back bend here. Feet are about hips width apart. Bridge pose. Push your feet down, lift your hips up. Yeah, and then feel free to take the hands underneath your back here if you prefer to interlace the fingers. If you have tight shoulders, they like to kind of walk underneath. Could be a nice option. Back to your diaphragmatic breath. And it's the only one we're going to do, so some of you might opt for a larger back bend, not necessarily better, but deeper. Hands behind your shoulders, Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing. Both fingers will point forward. Right? Elbows will pull in. You prop up to the crown of your head and then press the arms a little straighter. Yeah. Right, give it a few breaths here. Move the energy. That's it. Yeah, open those hands. Let's just give it one more inhale here and then relax all the way down. Good. Extend your legs straight up above. Press your palms into the floor in front of you. You can stay right here. You could even place a block underneath your lower back to elevate your hips. But if you feel safe in your neck, I want you to press your hands down and rock your hips up and over your head. So the feet will be close to the floor behind you. They might even touch the floor. It's not something that you want to force. Good, and then once you get into that position, you're welcome to hang there. The hips are over the heart, so by definition, you're in an inversion. It's a nice stretch in your lower back. But if you prefer to expedite that reversal of blood flow, bring the hands to your lower back. And then you can walk your elbows in closer for support, lifting one of your legs, followed by your opposite leg. Yeah, just energetically reaching, extending, breathing. Just like that. And then just as slowly as you came into this pose, I want you to slowly relax the feet back over the head. Let the knees really relax here. Once you get back there, you'll extend the arms forward. Those hips, they have a lot of weight in them, no offense, but once they start rolling, it's going to go fast. So use your hand brakes, use your belly brakes, and see how slowly you can roll out of your spine. 26 vertebrae, one at a time, until your lowest bone in your spine touches down. Bend the knees into your chest. Drop the knees to your left. You can cross the right leg over the left if you want, and open the right arm to the right. A final spinal twist. Now, this is where you scan the body for any remaining tension, any imbalances. You are the doctor today. Good. Switch. As you scan the body on the other side, notice any little thing that you notice. just come back to center and give yourself a congratulatory hug. So bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. Practice love. Tension and release. Take a big inhale. Hold this last breath in for 5. 4, love yourself up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 3, 2, 1, 0. Let it go. Relax all the way down onto your back. Feel free to close the eyes. Cover them if you'd like with a towel. And just take these few minutes and give yourself permission to do absolutely nothing. So ultimately, this is a practice of becoming more in balance. And so the positive versus the negative, the masculine versus the feminine, the right versus left, summer to winter, spring to fall, inhale to exhale, extrovert to introvert. You could really go on all day. Our existence is based off of it. And it really comes down to the left brain and the right brain approach to your practice. Sometimes you get really technical and analyze these poses in a very mathematical left-brained way. I think it's important to bring a creative aspect to your practice. And the right brain will tell you that every time you show up to your mat, you're creating art. Your mat is a blank canvas. The poses are the utensils. You're the artist. Take a few minutes to finish the masterpiece. And the deeper you let go, the deeper the reward will be.